Hey there! In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create button components in Figma. We'll cover text, Boolean, instant, and variance properties to build a set of reusable buttons for your design system. Let's jump right in. First thing we do is select the text tool from here or press C on the keyboard and start typing button. To fit the text frame to the text, go to the Layout section and click on Auto Width. Now it's fit the text width. For the extra small sized button, set the font size to 12 and the font weight to medium. Then right-click on the text and select Add Auto Layout or hold Shift and A on the keyboard. In the Layers panel, you'll see it changes to a frame containing the text. Now let's give a fill color to our auto layout. I'll choose this blue and change the text color to white to make it more visible. Next, add a corner radius of 8. That looks perfect. Now let's discuss button size. How do we know which size is suitable for each button? One rule for button padding and size is if the vertical padding, the top and the bottom is X, the horizontal padding, the left and the right should be 2X. For example, if I set the vertical padding to 6, the horizontal padding should be 12. And that's it. Here is our extra small sized button. But what if we want to add icons to it? To add that, we create an icon holder so we can replace it with any icons we need in our design. First, select the ellipse tool, draw a circle 16 pixel by 16 pixel. Add a stroke and remove its fill color. Right-click on it and choose Frame Selection to place the circle inside the frame. Change the frame size to 20 pixel. Then select the circle and align it to the center both vertically and horizontally. Rename it to icon/icon holder and set it as a component. I like to organize my icons in a section to keep the canvas clean. So let's create a section and place the icon component inside it and name it icons. Now we can bring an instant of this icon from the Assets tab. Click on Created in this file, then drag the icon from the list. If we drop it onto the button auto layout, it will be placed next to the text. Let's change its color to white. Set the gap between the text and icon to 8. And add another icon holder on the left side of the button. Here is our button. Let's turn it into a component and continue creating other button size. To do this, add a variant. Click on the Add Variance button and rename the component to Primary Button. Adjust the first property, which named property 1 by default, by changing its name to size, as will define different button sizes. For the first button, name the size extra small. For the second variant, name the size small. Next, adjust the small button size. Change the font size to 14. Set the vertical padding to 8. And the horizontal padding to 16. Now, resize the component frame for better space. add another variant, rename it to medium, and adjust the font size to 16, vertical padding to 12, and horizontal padding to 24. Finally, add a large variant with a font size of 18, vertical padding of 16, and horizontal padding of 32. Now, if we bring an instance from the Assets tab, we can easily change the button size from the component's properties. But what if we need buttons with different labels? While we can manually edit the text, that's not efficient. Instead, we'll define a text property. Select the component and click the plus button under the Properties panel. Choose Text and name the property Button Label and set the default value to Button. A warning will appear stating that this property is unused. To fix this, select the button text, click on the Apply Text Property button, and choose Button Label. Repeat this for all button variants. Now, if we bring an instance, we can easily change the label text from the Properties panel as well as the button size. Let's add some icons for replacement in the icon holders. Use plugins for this. Open the Actions on Toolbar, go to Plugins and Widgets, and type Iconify. Iconify is one of the best plugins for finding icons. Run the plugin. You can choose the Google Material icon set here, or you can try another set. Search for a right arrow icon. Let's select this one. By default, it's set to black and the size is 24, but let's resize it to 20 pixels and import it as a frame. Place it in the icon section, rename it to icon/arrow right, and set it as a component. Repeat this for the left arrow icon, but be careful to choose the similar one to maintain consistency. Now, to enable replacing icon holders with actual icons, we need to define a swap property. Select the icon holder frame in the XSmall button. Click on Create Instance Swap property here and name it Right Icon Type. Set its value to icon holder. Repeat this for all right icon holders in the other button sizes. Similarly, define another swap property named Left Icon Type and link it to all left icon holders. Now we can replace any icon we want in the icon holders. We rarely need to use both icons in a button. Most of the time, we only use one icon, or sometimes we don't use any icon. So for hiding an icon, we need to use a Boolean property. Click the plus button here and add a Boolean property. Call it show right icon and set the default value to true. A warning will appear again, so we need to assign the property to the right icon holder frames for all button sizes. From the Appearance section, click on the Apply Variant or Property button. From the Open menu, click on Show Right Icon property. Repeat the process for the left icons. Now you can show or hide the icons for any button instance. Buttons often have states like hover, pressed, and disabled. To create these states, use variants. First, let's organize the buttons by size and state in a section. Duplicate each button size to create additional states. Change the hover state fill color to a darker shade. The press state to a lighter shade. And the disable state to light gray with darker text for readability. Define the states by adding a variance property called state. Now, if I select the X small button in the default state, we can see in the properties panel that it is indeed an X small button in the default state. Similarly, this one is the small button in the default state. This one is the medium button in the default state. And the last one is the large button in the default state. However, when I select the X small button in the hover state, the size in the properties panel is set to size 8, and the state is set to default. To fix this, I added a new variant to the state and name it hover state, setting its size to X small. Now that we have defined the hover state, we can assign it to other buttons. For example, set the state to hover and the size to small. Set the state to hover and the size to medium. And set the state to hover and the size to large. Next, we need to define the pressed state and assign it to all buttons. Adjusting the size properties accordingly. We'll do the same for the disabled state. Once we have finished, we should only have 4 sizes in the size property: X small, small, medium, and large. Additionally, we will have 4 states: default, hover, pressed, and disabled. Now let's prototype. In the Prototype tab, connect the default state button to its hover state using the while hovering trigger. Do the same for other button sizes. Next, connect the hover state to the press state using the while pressing trigger. Finally, test everything by creating a frame and interacting with the button. You can now change sizes, status, icons, and visibility, all from the Properties panel. This is how you can create a comprehensive button set for your design system. And that's it for today's tutorial. I hope this helped you understand how to create flexible and reusable button components in Figma.